Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Sitting here, decided to go live because I was getting some energy influxes, and of course, you know, the mental body wants to feed into that. It's so incredible, you know, in these times, because we're having a great shifting occur. And so there is this, you know, everybody's on their little operation warp speed, you know, got to tap into the energy before it actually disappears and such. So we've got all kinds of beautiful, skillful, willful folks out there trying to control others so that they can appear to be in control of themselves. Pretty much. They want others to appear as though they're not in control of themselves, i.e., emotions running rampant, wanting to categorize everybody into one bulk box, you know, put everybody into one bulk box, and this is the way it's always been, and this is the way it's always going to be, and right? It's kind of what I'm going through. So I thought I would just go live and sit here live with you through this process. I'd like to get a read. I'd like to tap in on this energy because it is pretty intrusive, and it seems to be quite purposeful also, in that the sensation is it feels like an attempt to shut down the heart chakra and those fresh new connections that we have been enjoying and are looking forward to in the future. So yeah, we got some energies out there wanting us to reject that and to be rejected by it. You know, in the dream state, there, you know, we're living in multiple realities at the same time. I mean, you're living in the 3D world. You know, you bump something, you get a bruise, whatever. You go to bed at night and you close your eyes and you go to sleep, and you may have a dream. You see yourself somewhere and you look similar, perhaps younger, perhaps more beautiful, you know. The perfect little youthful body, you know, before cortisol, stress hormones kicked in, and, you know, the elder was birthed in we. And you may think, wow, that's a copycat, that's a replica, right? You may not recognize yourself over there in that dream space, and you may be certain that somebody is mimicking you. And while in the previous cycle, I know this was true, you know, I'm wrestling with it right now because, oh, thank you. I love it. That's one, I interrupted myself. I read a comment about the tree. So yeah, the tree, I changed the view of the camera because my lady friends, we had a Christmas party, and my lady friends decided that we needed to have a Christmas tree because we were having a Christmas party. So I typically don't do that kind of stuff, and it has been like a couple decades since I have enjoyed that. So it was really kind of a nice gift. I thought, well, I guess we're going to celebrate Christmas this year, you know, because the ladies put up the decorations. And it's really nice to look at. And every time I look at it, I think of them and myself decorating. And the one of the ladies that brought over the tree and the bulbs and such. So it was her son's fake tree, Ben. And so he let me use it. And so she came over at the party and she said, oh, by the way, Ben says you get to keep that tree. So now I have a false tree that I can put away and put up every year. And he let me keep the bulbs too. So all of the bulbs are mine as well. So that was a really nice present. Breathing into the energy, and reminding self that I am not this energy. Breathing into the energy and reminding myself that even though I had been traumatized and, tortured over and over again in previous incarnations, and this is coming to a close, this cycle of such many, M-I-N-I and M-A-N-A, cycles of such things, this major cycle is coming to a close, and there is always the hope that the new experience will be different. Although the trauma and such has embedded into the cellular structure, I believe, of the soul, so the soul has had so many brutalizations, and it's got memory, And the vision that I had before I sat down and turned the camera on, so I was kind of having felt like an anxiety attack somewhat, like a little shaky on the inside. I was having difficulty breathing in a steady pattern. I had thoughts going through my mind of various rejections and betrayals, followed by trauma. And then I had a vision of myself kind of standing in a dark room. And I was like, somebody was like zapping my innards with a electrical current. And I was kind of just like, kind of like that. So it's kind of like either I'm having a memory or I'm picking up on the energy of somebody that is having this experience. It's difficult to manage because while I'm experiencing the energy and kind of like the soul memory of this, the nervous system activates, the emotional body activates, the mental body starts to spin with the history of trauma, both consciously remembered and subconsciously felt, So maybe you're feeling something like that because we've got the crunch time happening right now. This is crunch time. And, they say that Christ was born on the December 25th. And so we've got massive pushing in right now to flip the oracle, the telepath, the empath into South Node so that they can then stick their shit to it and cause you to, I guess, have another cycle of some kind of a negative emotional experience. Recognition and validation of these feelings and then sitting with it and thinking about it while it's occurring, while you're watching the energy move through your body. It's really uncomfortable. So one of the things that he, with all authority, and I say that because he's the only unseen voice that rumbles through me when he speaks. So he said, one night when I was having a particular bad session, trying to transmute some black energy, he said to breathe into it. Now so I did, I took a big deep breath and I put the breath right where the shakiness was, right where the dense energy was. And I held it there, and then I kind of visioned the breath kind of wrapping it up, and then I slowly blew it out, and I repeated that process, and before you knew it, it cleared up relatively quickly. I would compare its effectiveness to drinking a lot of water, flushing the system. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm just transmuting or alchemizing memory of these traumas, if it was my personal memory and experience, I don't know. There's somebody, when you're looking psychically into the history of somebody, I guess there's like fragments. They're like smoky little tendrils or something that's kind of carrying a memory. You know how sometimes when you have ghosts and whatnot, and they they're like, you can see through them and stuff. And I guess that's kind of like memories, of past trauma that kind of imprint into the field or the realm. It could just be like apparitions, or it could just be like an egregiory created from a traumatic experience, kind of imprinting into the space. Well, and so the thing about trauma, I mean, I've been traumatized significantly for the last 22 years, and only in the last 15 months, I think 16 months, have I had some form of relief. Somebody far greater than those who were hurting, doing the hurt, came and relieved me. But the thing about it is, it's like, I think that sometimes the reason why these attacks and stuff happen for so long is that there's like a win. There's like this weird thing out there in the unseen that these people are doing, like conquering. They call it competition and they call it conquering when they like attack your spirit, like when you're sleeping or whatever, and they go into the dream space and they attack your spirit. And then they do a thing like bind you or whatever, and they call that conquering. But like consciously, we never had the opportunity to actually face our opponent and have a fair shot at it. I mean, many of the people don't even know this is occurring. So these invisible men, they call themselves conquerors. But once they get this binding or whatever, apparently there's like a statute of limitations or whatever. If you can survive the hell they put you through while they have you bound or whatever, then, and you through the statute of limitations, that you're free, then you get set free or whatever. And I think that kind of happened. I think a lot of people have been set free recently. So let's tap in and just check the energy and see what's happening out there. I'm sure I'm not the only one, because the bright shining stars, yes, the fluids in the body are definitely being hit with frequency, which is triggering like past traumatic soul memory, I feel. And if we're not aware that or thinking about it, then we could actually kind of feed into it and the memory of the trauma, even whether we remember exactly what's being triggered or not, or we're just kind of thinking of the past. If we're not, so we could feed into it and really make it much bigger than it needs to be, or we could just recognize it, breathe into it, and then ponder it as it moves through us, right? It's shadow work. Watch it as it moves. Feel it. Breathe into it. Alchemize it. So right now I feel like a lot of people out there are doing that. You empaths, you stars, you healers. I really feel that your system is online with your light shining bright. And I really feel like you're kind of alchemizing all of this soul trauma memory, perhaps of the realm, for everyone. And maybe that's what they meant by the 144 and the fire of purification. Your light is so bright. It's just taking all it in. You're taking like in all of these dense memory fragments. And even though your own history of trauma and betrayal is triggered, if you can be aware that this is what's happening, you're picking up on the fragments. And so it's not just your own personal memory from this lifetime, but it's like the collective memory of dense energy that we're picking up on. So in the central energy, what we have is the King of Swords in the reverse. So, yeah, we got some malicious manipulation. People are lying, or this person is anyway. I read for macro, so I don't like hone in on any one. I typically read like the bigger stuff, because that's what it is for me. So somebody who is playing mind games out there right now, they're misusing their power, being deceitful. In the challenge position, we've got the King of Cups. So divine masculine is loving. And we've got this bro, you know, he's like, hey bro, you know, you this and that, you know, bros before hoes and all this, you know, whatever. He could be challenged that somebody actually loves you or has love and actually isn't falling for the callous behavior. In the subconscious, Ace of Wands, willpower, right? Willpower. So he wants your new beginning. He wants your new opportunity. They want your growth. So here's the thing, you know, when this energy comes in, it's like the intention, I believe, from whoever the sender is, or the whatever technology this is, it's kind of like, it messes with the frequency of the waters, which triggers a memory, which triggers an emotion, which triggers, you know, all kinds of chaos in the body. And if you haven't practiced settling yourself within the unsettled environment, then it can be very difficult. People will have panic attacks, and rather than breathing into it, you know, kind of trying to master this flow, they'll take Xanax, for instance. My mother took Xanax twice a day until her kidneys gave out and she died, you know, which I think is criminal, you know, because those people know what that does to the body. Yet they gave it to her for years. In the recent past, you know, when you're having a challenging experience, I thought, well, maybe I can just share that here. Maybe it'll help somebody else if I'm live and we're kind of dealing with, you know, an energetic interference. So we got the Knight of Pentacles here. Slow and steady hard work, good investment. Intentions and expectations. Three of Swords. Disloyalty. So what are they doing? Somebody's working hard, trying to delay something, but confuse something in the near future. Chariot. Victory. Somebody's heartbroken. You got a victory. You're controlling yourself. You're moving forward. You're leaving behind chaos and lies. The lens is being looked through. The Devil. Codependent, toxic. So King of Swords in the reverse in the environment, or in the central energy, and we got the Devil, the lens that's being looked through, and this Three of Swords in the environment. Queen of Wands. She's determined, man. She's got her fire. She's all fired up. It could be, you know, that you stars, you know, suns, you bring life to things with your fire, you know, and you're determined that your light shall not go out. It's like, you know, it's like, hello, excuse me, devil. Hopes and fears. And that's the thing too, you know, one thing that really helps with this, because the energy interference and all of that, all of this, if you can find joy or be grateful or do something that will kind of shift it, right? Because what happens when this interference goes on, it drives the mind and the energy into, you know, a path of memory or of history. And so to counter it, you add the element of air, add the element of water, you watch it, observe it, pay attention to how it moves and how it feels, and what effect your breath has on it, what effect the water has on it, how much water do you have to drink before it shifts, you know, watch it. And then be happy. Start making a list of gratitude, you know, counter the thoughts that are trying to drive into your mind. We got the devil right here trying to be toxic, misusing their power. King of Swords in the reverse. That's what's going on. They're upset over you getting a victory and leaving, and they want you in South Node. They want you to take on this resonance and live in it. Accept it as your own. Feed it. That's what they're trying to do. So hopes and fears, hopes and fears. King of Pentacles. And the outgoing energy. 10 of Pentacles. King of Pentacles wants the 10 of Pentacles. Charming and unpredictable. Knight of Wands. So we got a Knight of Wands, charming and unpredictable. He's coming in, ooh, I'm so sexy, right? Well, we got the World card. It could be that that's the end of Prince Charming coming on and waving that wand around. Like we're not gonna transfer soul value through an intimate encounter anymore. And so they're in a 10 of Swords ending. Because there's new love for the Empress. Yeah. And they have lost. They have lost control of the foundation. Because the Emperor is here. The Emperor is here, persevering and working very hard with this conflict and this fraud that has been coming upon the lovers, the actual true unions. There is a celebration here. Lots of positive potential because you're coming into your reward for doing the work, for recognizing, for knowing thyself, for recognizing your stuff versus interference, for doing the work to move through it, manage yourself well in a circumstance that you may not have control over, you know? Thanks for being here, everybody. Love it. Celebration to come. Oh, I hope so. That's the thing, you know. I hear about all these celebrations going on, and I'm like, okay, in dream space, everybody's celebrating, you know, all of the people in the unseen realm are having a party, and I'm sitting here pouting because, you know, I'm not there. And it can kind of mess up your head when you got one foot in both worlds. You know, you want to be there celebrating, you know, but my eyes are open and I'm awake and I got to go to work and I got to, you know, feed the dog and do stuff like that, you know? So I don't, it's strange. It's a strange situation that I'm not fully wrapping my head around. Daughter of God, 888. You betcha. 888 Lionsgate. Woo-hoo. August 11th, beautiful day, a sunflower festival made just for we. It was beautiful that day. Absolutely beautiful. Most amazing day. The bells rang that day. Yeah, August 8th, 2024, 888. Get him out of my life. So we've got a King of Swords in the reverse. Somebody's misusing their power. They're trying to interfere with the frequency of the light-bearing alchemist or empath. They're manipulating the energy. They want to you to be seen as somebody other than who you are. So the quicker you can climb out of that hole, because they'll drive in this stuff into the body, and it feels, and you're like, wow, and your whole senses pick up on it, and before you come fully consciously aware of it, it can take a little bit of time because you get kind of lost in the memory of the feeling of it. But once you recognize, it's like, whoa, okay, this just came on out of nowhere, right? All this stuff. And so you start looking at it. And the quicker that you can recognize that it isn't something that just came on all of a sudden all by itself, the quicker that you can start to observe it and pay attention to it and then do your thing with it. These mind games that love to mess with frequency. It's a frequency war on the mind. And they have technology that can drive specific thoughts, which will match the emotion they want you to. Because that vision that I had, having in a darker room, having like the electric shock to the body, and it was like the whole nervous system was just lit, right? And that's kind of like what the feeling was with the vision. And, you know, it's mind games. And it could just be, like I mentioned earlier, it could be that you're picking up on the residual fragment of a past lifetime trauma or something. Or you're just picking up on, you know, somebody else having an experience. I don't know, you know. Ascending. So somebody wants to play mind games. They know that you're ascending. Look at that bright shining light there. They need you in South Node. They want to mess with your frequency. They want to infiltrate the waters of your temple. They want to mess it up, you know, and then they want to start tapping into the memories of previous betrayals and traumas. And then they want you to wrap it up with the magnetism of your emotional body. Own it, you know? and then grow it. That's what they want you to do. So they're misusing their power. They're trying to manipulate you and your energy right now because you've been promoted and you're ascending. King of Cups is a challenge here. Because he's in control of himself. He's loving, tolerant. So we've got encounter, love at first sight. So King of Swords reversed, he's playing mind games. He's infiltrating the frequencies of the waters of the temple, housing spirit and soul, because he knows that you're ascending. He is messed up in the head. He's very, very callous and rude. King of Cups is here, challenger, right? And he's about ready to encounter his love. And so King of Swords in the reverse wants to screw up your frequency so that he doesn't recognize you. We've got law is a challenge for him too. Lawyer, judge, and police. He could have an encounter with the law. We've got independent here. He's not doing this alone. You aren't alone. You're no longer alone. You've been alone this whole time. And this jackwagon, this King of Swords in the reverse has been messing with you because he knows that you're being promoted. So you're no longer alone though. You're no longer doing things alone. You are with your King of Cups. And there's the law here. So there could be, one of you could be the law, or maybe you've got a lawsuit going. You're no longer alone. They're losing their freedom. They're losing their freedom. Ace of Wands. Pets, new opportunities, animal friends, the Knight of Pentacles, hard work and routine, achievement, good investment, cool down. We got to cool down. We got to pause. Somebody's cooling down. Somebody's cooling down. Cooling down with the confusion, the illusion, the mystery. So somebody's been working real hard and now they got to cool down. Or they've been working real hard to cool down. Working real hard to calm down the unknown, the confusion. Oh, one of this curator the other night said that they created something that that they shouldn't have, that they can't control. Like, they really screwed up, okay? And apparently, the rose is the antidote to this screw up. So they got plans, for the typical flip and copycat kind of crap. Yeah. And, they feel that this farm here, well, apparently is supposed to feed it or whatever. I don't know. But it is typical, isn't it, that we got some folks out there that screw up to the nth degree. And of course, it's always mama's duty to fix it because she's got the antidote. She's the healer. And they can't go and tell everybody that they genetically created some monster that they can't do something with now. Fortunately, there are beings far greater than they, and I'm pretty sure they can probably figure it out. So we got the Knight of Pentacles working real hard to slow down or cool down, to calm down some illusion. We've got the Three of Swords here. So somebody's in grief. Somebody is in grief. Somebody could be heartbroken. So somebody's heartbroken, in sorrow over your talent. Ooh, excuse me. They betrayed you. They're heartbroken over your talent. Because we got a Knight of Pentacles working hard to cool down the illusion, and somebody's heartbroken over your talent. The Chariot is here. Victory. Reconciled. Oh! And the rhetoric that's like that was the stream, the soap opera stream that they like to push into the transmitter receiver of the divine, organic messenger, I guess, of the divine here to receive upper messages and bring them and manifest them into the realm, right? So what the heck? I forgot what I was going to say. So reconciled, encountered. The devil is here, though. The lens that you're looking through is the devil. So there's an understanding. There's a victory here. You understand what has been happening. So the beautiful thing about telepathy, right, is that when you are connected, say you are a true divine masculine and you are a true divine feminine and you are twin flames, and these people have been like intercepting, boom, chopping you, binding you, boom, and they've been keeping you apart for centuries, right? All of a sudden, boo, here you are, you're shining. Someone could be misusing their power. Somebody has misused their power, perhaps, to appear as though they ascended. Maybe that's what they've been doing. They've been saying that they were going to unalive the strongest two because they created this beast that they cannot appease, and they must control the planet because this is its home, right? If they have to leave, what are they going to do? Oh my gosh, right? So they wanted to keep these twin flames apart because your light, especially when you come together with this full on love and stuff, oh my goodness, you're powerful on your own. And it's like when you guys come together, it's not going to just be, oh, howdy, partner. 1 + 1 makes 2. No. No. Excuse me. No. You have been to the deepest pit of hell. And I feel that many of you came from the highest heights, truthfully, to be here now, shining your light so that we could adjust what's happening here. So, and we got something big, 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 folks. Whoops. Doing some stuff. So the devil is here, codependent and toxic. They brag about how they're always able to manipulate you. See, the thing about this is they're exact duplicates, pretty much. Except they don't feel like we do. That's our, and they feel that our feeling, our love, our empathy, our compassion, our care, they feel that that's a weakness. Because all they have to do is come in and love bomb us, and pretend like they love us. And it's like, ooh, and of course with the witchery, the magic and stuff on the mind, we're like, ooh, love, right? And then they come in and it's like, oh, fell for it again, right? But what are you doing now? Look at that. Your soul is singing. And look, your soul is singing because you're breaking up with toxicity. Those who are addicted to you, those who are addicted to your light, those who have been stepping on you in order to get ahead in life. The devil. The devil. Commitment. Commitment. The devil. Commitment. Oath and agreement. What? Did the devil kneel before you? Pledge an oath? Make a promise. All right, well, Queen of Wands is right here. Isn't that saying in the Bible, bow at their feet or whatever, that everybody got all into war mode over or whatever? Isn't that said to be a thing? Uninvited guests. It's the moment of decision regarding the uninvited guest. There could be a surprise. The uninvited guest may be surprised. They may want to surprise you. There's a big change here. King of Pentacles is here. Hopes and fears. Firm. Firm. Wide awake. Clear thinking. Decisive. He knows just what to do. And the outgoing energy is we got the Ten of Pentacles. Drinks in the reverse. Nope. No thanks. No alcohol. You're not drinking alcohol. But it does say tea and water. It could be no drinks. We've got the Ten of Pentacles here, but there's no celebration. There's no toxicity. No drinks. Ten of Pentacles. You're coming into your inheritance. Drinks, you know, when I think of drinks like alcohol, I think of the temple's gates opening, you know, and then you got all these openings showing everything that you got, you know, everything you got. They want to see what you got. You know, your soul is carrying all this 10 of Pentacles. You know, you're so very valuable. And, you know, folks want to come in. It's like, hey, let's go have a drink, you know. Celebrate, celebrate. They want to see what you got. So you go out and you have a few drinks. And before you know it, you're feeling real happy. But all your gates are open. Bling! And everybody can see what the sugar pie has. So you're coming into your inheritance. So there's no drinks. There's no celebration. No coffee or tea. Empty room. No people. No people. Freaking silence in the home that you had hoped for. Oh, oh my gosh, a new beginning. Oh, for the rose, divine freaking intervention. Whoa. Whoa. Divine timing, the mirrors are getting let go. You're coming into your inheritance. You're getting peace and quiet. No more chaos. No more uninvited guests. No more drinking and just stumbling around with your gates wide open. All of the shiny diamonds within your soul falling out as you stumble down the street. And you got this guy here coming to pick up on it. Well, I don't know. Apparently there's a pledge and a promise. Okay. So we got no drinks. There's no drinks. Empty room. No people. The end. Opportunity. The end of opportunity. It's silent in the home. You had always hoped for this change. Now it's time to rest and this new beginning for the damn rose. Oh. Congratulations, Rose. Congratulations, Rose. You're getting your 10 of Pentacles and it's not going to the party animal. You get to keep it. It's not going to the mirror. It's not going to the mirror. The mirror is being let go. Holy Toledo. Now that's what this energy is. They wanted to switch places. See? And that's one thing. That's one reason why I think Spirit led me to kind of teach myself how to do this. Because when I came upon this, I'm like, whoa, you know, and your mind will really run with it, especially because of the interference. But when you can lay the cards out like this and you can see what's actually going on, it's like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. They're desperate to switch places. They're trying to throw at you all of the discomfort of the what they're feeling right now. It's intense. Well, that puts a new spin on things. How you guys doing? All right, so the King of Swords is in the reverse. They were misusing their power when it came to leveling up. They were playing mind games, and they may still be playing mind games, doing their very best to get you seen as them so that they can be seen as you. Some of them are really beaming with this beautiful light and some happiness. And so you know what that means, right? It means they're getting ready to do the flip. Operation Knockout or whatever that was. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyway. So yeah, misusing power in order to gain a promotion. They didn't actually earn it. They flip people. They like tamper with the energy the memory. They could actually, you've been like burned many times, according to the curator. I heard him say the other day. Somebody asked him, "You burned her?" And he says, "We burned her many times." So they're in big trouble. We've gone through a lot of different birth and death cycles where we have been tortured traumatically with our soul, like burned alive. Imagine the trauma on a nervous system and a soul going through something like that. They came up with so many different ways to torture people, and it would take a long time, So we've been through that. There's collective soul memory of that. It's intense. They know what they did, and they don't want that for themselves. So they're trying to push it in on us, the memory that our soul holds. They want to trigger it. Yeah, we're in crunch time. We're in crunch time right now. Drink your water, especially this month, especially the rest of this month. Drink a lot of water. I got to remind myself to do that too, because I've been drinking coffee and tea. Ghosted. So the King of Swords is in the reverse. They've been playing mind games, manipulation. They've been being very callous and misusing their power in order to level up and ascend. Ghosted, detached. So they're being detached. They're being detached. It could be that, they attach themselves to somebody who is ascending, and then they ghost them and detach from them. So it's like the transference, like I was saying the other day. It's like iPhone to iPhone. There you go. Okay, now I'm you and you are me. And then they go on. They download all their karmic debt and crap, and and then they upload all your stuff. So they've been misusing their power in order to do that. Now, I don't know how they do that, but I know iPhones have figured it out. And since we are the original or organic transmitter receivers of the Most High, then we obviously are a device that holds memory, like the Akashic records. Everything that we go through is right there. And these fellas figured out, I guess, a forbidden way to transfer the stuff. They got to flip somebody into South Node. They got to get all up in there in that warm, fuzzy, beautiful energy, and then they flip it. So the King of Cups, there's a challenge here, because the King of Cups is meeting somebody by chance. Love at first sight. We've got the law, lawyer, judge, police. We've got independent in the reverse, and we've got free in the reverse. So somebody's not free. It could be that this King of Swords in the reverse, who's been misusing his power in order to level up, has been detached. They're no longer free. They're no longer able to go play both sides of the field, shadow against light, light against shadow, hey, blah, 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 whatever. So they're no longer free to do that because the law has stepped in. They got detached. They're being ghosted, off, on. They're misusing the power of this scenario here. They're all that good stuff, over and back rule, over and back rule. So, okay. Ace of Wands. Animal friends. Who let the dogs out? So there could be new opportunities for the animals. There's been a lot of stuff going on here. Love child. Do-do-do-do-do. New opportunities. Pets. Dog, cat, animal friends. A love child, a beloved child of the Divine Father. You're a favorite. You're going to get the loving care that you show your beloved furry children. God is like a God, right? and we like are in these flesh suits, you know, even though our spirit soul complex comes from another star system, while here we're kind of like in a flesh suit that's got all of the elements of creation in it, right? Or at least the, yeah, elements of the creation. Love child. And the Father, the Heavenly Father, loves us, see? So it could just be that this is what's going on. It's like you are a beloved child, and this King of Swords that has been misusing his power and attacking those who were ascending or who are ascending in order to level up. Yeah, he's getting detached from that, because I think that God is pretty pissed off that these people who haven't actually done the work have been leveling up on somebody else's pain and suffering, somebody else's ability to transmute, to alchemize, to work through, and to manage themselves well, to become greater than they were before, recognizing an interference, you know? So learning all of this stuff about the subtleties about these attacks, right? Know thyself. Learn as much as you can about as much as you can, according to who you are, what you're connected to, and what the energies around you are doing. Your toroidal field is 6 feet in diameter, you know, and, you know, there's a lot of things about what that period in time when they didn't want anybody to be any closer than 6 feet. Well, they had to separate the toroidal fields of people so that they could then identify, right? According to frequency or light or stability or whatever. That's my perception of it. They had to identify. So, you know, who do they need to focus on? Which frequency do they need to tamper with? You know, who do they need to work on to get into South Node? Yeah, so, the Knight of Pentacles is here, slow and steady, working on a routine to cool down, to calm, and to bring a pause to the mystery, this weird mystery, these illusions, these confusing illusions. It's like, why do we have such scumbags in these upper hierarchy positions when they're just brutal, destroying everything? Obviously, they haven't learned the lesson or the value of life, you know, and it's precious. It's precious presence. It's weird. So there's a confusing mystery of this. Why are these people getting, you know, like living in the moment? It's all peace, man. Somebody is upset, heartbroken over your talent, over these features that you have, your personality, you know, and that's the thing, you know, somebody's like, she has attitude. And I'm like, are you serious? You know, that's just a typical thing. You know, people who can't manage themselves well in the presence of others or in the presence of any kind of circumstance without actually just like vomiting, you know, energetically all over everything and trying to project out their own internal chaos onto stuff. It's like, wow. I guess it becomes a habitual pattern when you're kind of doing this kind of stuff. So they're upset. Look, love spell. Born with features, personality, love spell, spell love, heartbroken, betrayal. They were betraying talent. People born with talent, using love spells in order to get a life of leisure. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles is calming down on the illusion of living in the moment. He's intention, expectation, betraying talent with love spells. Personalities with talent. The Chariot is here, the victory, reconciled. So you shine brightly, you manage yourself well, you recognize and observe and do all that good stuff. And we got memories. understanding, repair, a cure, understanding, memories, reconciled. So you may have, in this whole experience, you know, you twin flames that have been kept apart, you know, it could be that you were even magically manipulated into thinking that your person was an enemy, and you may have actually hurt them throughout some different lifetimes, you know. You may have believed that they were trying to get your ascension, when the one that was trying to get your ascension was projecting, probably messing with you with the magic too. So you got a victory here. There's an understanding of the memory, of the history, all this stuff, what's been going on. The devil is here. There's a commitment, codependency, toxicity, some kind of commitment. Married. So you're looking at the memories. Oh, so some devil, what'd some devil do? Some devil did a love spell. You had talent. What? Some devil stalked you. You're ascending. You're a rising star. What did they do? They stalked you, did a love spell on you. This is the lens you're looking through. The history, the memories, the understanding. Why you married a devil? Somebody may have done magic over you, your twin flames, many lifetimes ago. You know, they've been working the mind really. They're really good at it. I'm not even kidding. You know, because there's all the bodies involved, all of the elements, the mental, the emotional, the energetic, you know, all the subtle bodies. And they really know how to push the buttons. And if you haven't done your shadow work and healed your traumas and your triggers, if you haven't forgiven and shown grace to people who have hurt you, then that will be the fuel that the devil will use to drive you. That's why forgiveness is important. It's not necessarily to forgive the person, but it's to release the baggage of the burden, you know. I feel that it's more to forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now. And these people were doing love spells, manipulating the mental body, and then they were messing with the waters of the body and the emotional body. So in the history, centuries ago, when they first unalived you and started messing with you through these rotations, you know, there could have been some kind of they could have called you unfaithful. You know, they may have tried to frame you as a prostitute by going out and having an orgy and then coming back and dropping that energy on you. And then your telepathically, energetically connected soulmate may have said, oh, what's going on, you know? And then there's all this love spell crap, right? The mental manipulation. And you don't even have to have the thought, because they can drive it through with the Microsoft, this Wi-Fi stuff, just like they do any other device, any other transmitter receiver. You just happen to be an organic one. So the Queen of Wands is here. She's determined to live her life, and she is focused. There is an uninvited guest. Moment of decision. Moment of decision. Big change. Big change. Big change in the uninvited guest spiritual gifts. They may be losing their clairs because they've been gaining these clairs by trapping people in contracts using love spells. They've been causing chaos in people's intimate, you know, unions by projecting filth into the toroidal field. And, you know, they can, there's various ways they can do that. King of Pentacles is here. Disciplined and firm. Very decisive. He's firm. Wide awake. We've got losing sleep. He could be losing sleep because you are firm, because you are wide awake, because you see clearly. Well, you got the Ten of Pentacles here. So there's no drinking. There's no tipping glasses with nobody. You know, nobody's going to be coming into your room. It's an empty room. Silence in the home. No astral projecting. No uninvited, Ouija board guest. You had hoped for a change and you're getting it. It's time to rest. It's a new beginning for the rose. There has been divine intervention. The mirror, this is the wrong place at the right time for the mirror. They're being let go. You're a queen bee. You're a queen bee. They trapped you. They caused chaos between you and your person. A long, long time ago. You've learned all the karmic lessons that you need to learn regarding sweet talk. Somebody's getting readings on you. Or they're finding out you are free. It's been said you're emancipated. They can't trap you. You see their true colors. What they were presenting at was an illusion. They were connected to those who actually had earned the right to be in that position. And then claiming it, leaving you alone. Leaving you alone. Leaving divine feminine alone. Spending all her money. Leaving her alone. Riding high on her hog, and now she's praying, right? Praying all about it. These people were out there in her energy having reckless sex. They gotten bad news. This thug, it was this thug. So there's bad news. It was this thug having a toxic lifestyle. You got DNA. A different type of entity, a secret account of a divine masculine, so a copycat of the divine masculine, a copycat of the divine masculine, a devil, a copycat of the divine masculine came in, the devil, and married. So they that's what they did. They came in, they spied telepathically on the minds of the twin flames, and then came in and did a thing and created, a whole bunch of bad stuff, and then trapped you both in these cycles, these karmic cycles, using your ascension to gain promotions into leadership positions that they had no business being in. And the reason why that was happening was because there's some thing out there that's driving them. But beings, yeah, you got this. This psycho is effed up over you. They don't want to let go. You're the queen bee. You're it. They are messed up. They're going psycho. Because goodbye romance. There's no more, downloading soul value by intimate union, reckless sex, right? Fed up. Oh, and that was the thing. Fed up with the shady Jezebel. Oh, God, guys. 17 months ago, 16 months ago, this right here, fed up, except it was the up word was under the word fed. And it was in white lightning letters, a visual I had with my eyes closed, fed up. And it was crazy. So yeah, fed up with the shady Jezebel. Single, keeping people single, backstabbing twin flames, leaving you hanging, you know? Yeah. When all you ever wanted, your wish come true was to have family. Yeah. And they rejected you. So you loved yourself. And you love yourself, and you blocked them. They no longer have access to you. And they're feeling like poop because they're going round and round and round. They need to put you in your south node. Just be aware. You know, they're having some heartbreak here. Yeah. Because this sex addict wants to marry you now because they're addicted to your love-hate thing, right? They're stubborn, they're selfish. They want what you have, your light. But you've discovered the truth, and you're closing the cycle on these karmic ties. Absolutely. They're under pressure because they wanted no strings. No strings. They didn't want to be serious. They're having an ego death. They got massive regrets. Their life is in chaos. They're not happy because it's over. It's over, and it's too late. Alrighty then? All right, so there's that. It's too late, baby. Ooh, oh, that's too hot. Too hot. Well, this story right here does not match how I felt when I first sat down to do the reading. It just doesn't. Well, it does in that what I was feeling was this mirror. I was feeling the mirror. Divine intervention for the rose. Reconciled. I'm so happy. That's wonderful. All right, so the King of Swords in the reverse misused their power playing mind games on people who were ascending in order to gain a leadership position or to take their place, to gain a promotion. They're being ghosted or detached. Messing with people's minds, hot and cold, ghosting you. And that's how they got you. You know, if they come in and get that intimate thing and then they start jacking you around. Love you, hate you, love you, hate you, love you, hate you. That's like that damn over in the springtime, you know, spring forward, fall back or whatever. You know, why? Why do you keep messing with that? You know, I don't understand it, but except that's part of their thing. That's what they do. They keep people off balance like that. They destabilize people on the regular. Their internal mechanism, whether it's consciously aware of or not, it has to reset over and over again. It's destabilization. It messes with the roots, the groundedness of the spirit and soul, and all of those connections. You know? Trap in the reverse. So we've got this king. Okay, so King of Swords in the reverse. He's misusing his power, playing mind games, being very callous in order to level up. He's targeting somebody who is ascending. He's being ghosted, detached. We got trap in the reverse. There's no trap. He can't lay a trap. He's ghosted. He's getting detached. You're detached. He's unable to trap you. He wants to target your ascension. He really wants it, but you are detached and they cannot trap you. The King of Cups is here and he's challenged by that because your King of Cups is here. You're going to meet by chance. You're going to have an encounter. And there's the law. The law says this person is not free to mess with you. You're not alone anymore. They got to stop going over and back. They got to stop cursing you in the shadow and praying for protection in the light. They got to stop messing. The law says so. Universal freaking law. They got to stop trapping people who are properly ascending and stealing their leadership status. No more traps. The Heavenly Father loves you. You are the loved child. He's taking care of you like your animal friends, like you would take care of your animal friends. Probably better because children aren't necessarily animals. Unless you're one of these twin flames, you probably haven't had any kids. Or maybe you have, but maybe not quite a marriage. I don't know what your story is, how it fits in. But we got new opportunities for pets, for your dog, for your cat. You're a loved child. Could be for the animals, all of the animals, because also it said that like there was going to be a great purging of everything dangerous or whatever. There was going to be like an extinction event of all the animals. I remember when this first started a long time ago, like the Lady of the Water was there. The ferret or the weasel of the forest came. The dolphins were there. I mean, a lot of the animals came forward. They know that you are a loved child, or beloved child of the divine, of the heavenlies. There's a new opportunities. They're not going to get extinct now because you love them. And you don't see them as dangerous, only the villain does. The villain sees them as that because the villain knows that these animals will chew them up if they try to come and hurt you. We got dance. It might be time to dance. There's new opportunities and new beginnings for pets, for the animal friends. So all of these animals that have been, driven into a slaughterhouse, line, maybe there's going to be a shift in how that happens. I don't know. We got dance. You are a loved child of this Heavenly Father. We got dance. Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady. He's got to calm down, cool down. The mystery, the illusion, the confusion, living in the moment. Warrior. Warrior, living in the moment. Warrior. He's just relaxed. He's cool, slow and steady, taking care of responsibilities, cooling it down, bringing it all cool down. Divine intervention for the Rose. Thanks, Rose. So there is somebody's heartbroken over your talent. They've been doing love spells. They want your personality. They're heartbroken over your personality. Love spell. Maybe they fell under their own love spell. Maybe their own love spell backfired on them. They lied. They're causing confusion. Maybe they're confused because your personality or your talent. Now this is frequency, right? This is water. Have you ever seen those YouTube videos where they hit the water with a frequency, a sound frequency, and it does stuff like that straight out of the hose? So you have talents, alchemizing, frequency, right? And they've been doing, so you have talent when it comes to, I feel, managing the frequency of these love spells. Somebody's heartbroken over it. They're confused. They could be confused by it, upset by it. They could be on fire. Frequency, love spell, heartbroken, emotional pain. Oh my gosh. All these love spells that they did on you, what? Did they backfire and hit them? And now they're all in emotional pain. They're all in the fire of these love spells. What's going on? Fire. Roar. Let it all come down. Something new will rise. Somebody's in the fire of these love spells. They're heartbroken. They're heartbroken. The love spells aren't working. They're backfiring and they're heartbroken. They're in a fire. It's all coming down. It's all coming down. Chariot here. We got a victory and a moving forward with a reconciliation. There is understanding here of what has happened in the history. Neighbors in the reverse. We're no longer going to be neighbors. They're no longer going to be living in your community. They're getting kicked out. They're on fire. Maybe their house is burning down. Maybe they're being forced out. They're in an emotional fire. They did a lot of love spells on you, and now they have all this heartbreak. So they could have, been working on you, doing a steady investment with these love spells to live in the moment, to have a life of luxury while causing confusion for people. Maybe you fought back. Now they're on fire with the flame of your love. It all backfired. You're not going to be neighbors anymore. They're getting kicked out of the territory. They can't be here anymore. The devil, commitment, married. There is an understanding of why this happened. The lens that's being looked through. You could have married the devil, like you were in love with your twin flame however many lifetimes ago, and then you wound up marrying the devil. And it's because of this stupid love spell crap. They're on fire. They're on fire. They're all going to be on fire. And that's what it is. I heard these devils talking the other day about marrying into the clan. They want to do that again. They want to play with the energy of the people, and they want to come in and schmooze them, right? With their perfect little act, Problem is they're full of malice, and that's the thing, They're so perfect, but they're cold-hearted. Cold-hearted. Very good actors. Harvest. Harvest. The devil was committed to marrying and then harvesting their husband or wife. That's what they were doing. You put a ring on it, and then I heard a younger masculine ask them, they were marrying people, and then they were sacrificing them to this devil there, harvesting them and replacing them, typically, from my understanding, with the same gender as them, their own selves, except presenting as the opposite. And that is how the uninvited guest obtained spiritual gifts, targeting people who had them, harvesting people who had them. This is the Rose's testimony. And now there's reconciliation with the true twin flames. Isn't that wonderful? Love child, you're a love child of the divine. It's time for you to dance. It's time for you and your animal friends to get a new beginning. All of those animals you love. You know those beautiful little bird songs in the morning? So the Queen of Wands is here. Her determination has brought recognition and or awareness, I should say, to how this uninvited guest obtained their spiritual gifts. They could be surprised. There's a big moment of decision. They've been getting it through marrying somebody who has it. It was all a manipulation, a very premeditated disruption. Dreams, tackling you in the dreams. So Queen of Wands, your courage and your desire to live has exposed this uninvited guest gaining spiritual gifts from divine feminine by marrying them in the dream state. Yeah. I had to really fight off some jackwagon trying to get me to, I was sleeping in my freaking bed trying to get ready for work in the morning. And I kept getting harassed in the dream state by this fella. He kept trying to get me to masturbate. And I was like, no. And there was some freaking judge or priest or whatever standing right there getting ready to sign a marriage contract in the dream state. And that's what these uninvited guests, they spy on the mind of those who are ascending. They come in, they get the contract in the spiritual realm, in the dream state, and then they never show up. They ghost you. But they weren't able to do that this time. King of Pentacles is here. Discipline. Looking, we got firm, wide awake, clean, and decisive. Somebody's losing sleep, replaying the events in their mind, thinking about you, Queen of Wands, thinking about you. We got water, this Leviathan that had been feeding on you. Yeah, somebody else is the fodder now, no longer you. You're not trapped. You're not trapped. They're still reaching out, trying real hard to push this South Node energy into you, though. Probably, at least I experienced it. Either it was for me or I was picking up on the energy of somebody else having this experience. 10 of Pentacles is here. So there's no having drinks. There's no celebration. You're not going to go out and have somebody slip you some Mickey and then drag you off, throw you in the trunk, and then replace you with a copycat, right? You're not going to do that. Empty freaking room. Nobody's there. It's silence. It's complete silence in the home. No more telepathic intrusions. You know, the silence that you had hoped for. You get this new beginning, a transformation and rest for the rose. It was divine intervention. You are a beloved child of the Most High God. The mirror is here at the wrong time. This is divine timing, and it's the wrong time for them. They're getting let go. You're the Queen Bee. You're the Queen Bee, and your King of Cups is right here with you. Full understanding. Secure, confident. You may have been career focused, working on yourself, developing, you know, methods, ways that you can sharpen or hone your intuitive skills, your senses. Genius. The Queen Bee is a genius because she was what? Now, they've been complaining about Mother Nature's plant medicine. That's one of the things that they've been complaining about. And they've been complaining about her needing medicine. So it's odd to me, you know. She's a genius. And it could be that over time or over centuries or however long this has been going on, she's been studying according to this. See, there's a shot there. So she could have been, and that's a cat, you know, she could be a Leo or a cat person. And she might have been testing out different nature medicines and whatnot to see how it affected her temple, her energy production, you know, the homeostasis and such. The queen bee is a genius, and now she's got all of this information there. There's hope for the rose, change and new beginnings. Everything they said about you, everything they said about your experience was lies. It was all lies. They just wanted your fate. They bound you because they wanted your fate. And then they pointed at you and said you were the cause of all of this sickness. You know, and these were the midnight gremlins that were going around causing sickness. They're shocked here. They're the hybrids or whatever. They're shocked. And it could be that, you know, they called them up out of the phantoms of this book, you know, I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Of Earth. They have been vampiring Earth. And they've been doing rituals, devilish rituals on the Earth. Fertility on the children of the Earth. Consuming them. Somebody is really pissed off because you escaped the curse. Well, that's nice. How y'all doing? Should I keep going? Alrighty then. I am so grateful. I am so very grateful that the creator of all things is far greater than we, and that they are here right now. Boom, freaking shakalaka, giving the rose a new beginning. And the King of Cups is right here, and they're about ready to come together. Yep, those of you who have been kept apart for centuries are coming together. There's an understanding of what's been going on here with all of the magic and the trickery. They want forgiveness because they were keeping secrets. It was all a plan. It was a you know. And the sad thing, according to my experience and perception, is that they did their very best to like destroy the chakra system, the rainbow, right, of the temple of the soul, by giving us these experiences of electric shock where everything was just like, because like in my vision when I first sat down, you know, the energy coming through was just like I was receiving current into the nervous system. It was wild. Could have been a memory, could have been a collective soul memory. And I really do think that, again, I'm going to say, I think that a lot of you are alchemizing these memory fragments because you can feel it without losing yourself in it, you know? Which is cool because that is why you have that. See, that's why, because you're bringing all of this energy, all of this beautiful light. You can blast out these dense memory fragments. You can like alchemize it into something brighter, you know? So you're lifting the density of these soul traumas, these fragments, these memory fragments. That's why you're ascending, but somebody wants to knock you back down and take that. And it's like, dude, we need these stars and suns to get up there and do their job. They need to be in their purpose. The planet, you know, needs this energy. And, you know, the lives of these people are not games. It's just not a game. So we got, okay, so they misused their power in order to gain an ascension by picking on somebody who had one coming. And now they're getting detached. They're not able to trap you. You're detached. They're not able to trap you. We've got secrets. Haven't told you everything yet, so they're not able to trap you. They didn't know everything. Perhaps there are secrets about you that even you don't know, but the Most High does. You know, and all that family. And there are limitless numbers of universes out there, and I don't know which one you came from, but you know what? Apparently, this isn't your first rodeo. It's like y'all came here. You took the risk to go round, around, 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 and bust this stuff up, and you are successful, it appears. So I'm very, very grateful. Thank you. So the King of Cups is about ready to have his encounter with his love. There is an understanding of why this devil, what happened with this devil, and how did you get married and looped into this and attached and all this good stuff. And that is why, because it was all this weird manipulation, bad stuff. Horrendous. You were supposed to be there with your person, and now you will be. These others, they won't be your neighbors anymore. You're going to move far, far away from these clowns is what you're going to do. Yep. So these ones here that were stealing the ascension of others, they're losing their freedom. They're no longer free to go to the shadow and then go in the light. They're no longer free to probably not even be in both of those realms. They're probably getting 86 out of both of those realms. They're being held back, holding back. There is no roots. There is no fruit. There is no flower. This thing, it doesn't have any root system. Like it didn't ever go into the pit of hell and plant its roots and do the shadow work to climb up and get into the freaking sun once more. You know, it didn't do it. It just hijacked somebody else's work and pretended. And that's why everything is in a state of suffering, because the energy that really needed to be here to do this healing work, this transmutation, this alchemy, it was being held back. So yeah, now they're being held back. They're losing their freedom. Justice is here. Justice is here. And that's why there was such a big fight. The twin flames can't ever come together. It's forbidden. And that's because they were trying to replace the rainbow covenant with the Most High God and that family here with those who don't have the rainbow inside of them. Somebody actually commented that on one of my videos. They said the new human doesn't have the rainbow chakra system, which was weird to me. I'm like, well, that's where we get our energy. So I mean, that's what, you know, gives us life. So that's kind of weird. I mean, that's my understanding anyway. It is life itself, right? So you got new opportunities here with the Ace of Wands. You and your animal friends are all going to be okay. You're love children of the divine, you know? Human children. And I had a dream one time, or an astral vision. Sasquatch came. Man, she came down out of that tree and she was like running and she did a somersault and then she jumped up and kind of disappeared. And I was like, whoa. I mean, because Sasquatch is big, but Sasquatch moved more nimble, I think more nimble than the deer or the elk, and was like agile, the way that it moved around the trees and stuff, like a cat, you know? So I have been praying for Sasquatch. But then in another experience, she brought forward her pups. There were like 3 little baby Sasquatches and they were so cute, you know? And then there was the golden retriever who came with its pups and they were there. And I was like, oh, so you got your animal friends. They're love children of the earth, you know? So this is good. It's time to dance. It's time to celebrate. And this card just came right out, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it. It's a commitment. You are one. And you know, like my dog pissed in the house the other day, and I was mad, and I was yelling at him, you know. It was raining outside, and he didn't want to go outside, so I was yelling. And then I felt bad because he was just sitting there looking at me, you know, and he's been groaning a lot. He's old. He's 16, almost 17. And then I felt bad and I thought, well, maybe there's something wrong, you know? So I went and gave him a lot of love. And then the feeling or the word that kind of moved through me was, we're one, you know? Like the love. He's my kid. He's my fur child. I am responsible for his well-being. And, you know, there's something going on because I've had him a long, long time and he doesn't go potty in the house. So there's something going on. Anyway, you got a commitment. There's a bond, a love commitment. Like they're part of the family, right? It's time to dance. Love, children of the family. So the Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady, working hard, cool down. Pause that illusion and confusion. Living in the moment, warrior. They could be fighting right now. This person who's been harvesting the ascension in this way, they may have to cool it down. The illusion, the confusion, the puzzle, the mystery, the unknown. Maybe you know about it, or maybe this Knight of Pentacles knows about it and he's cooling it down. He's bringing it to a pause. This illusion and confusion. This living high on the hog when you haven't done the work. There could be fighting right now. Yeah, they're fighting right now because they did not appreciate the beauty that you offered. They were holding you back and they weren't allowing you to come in and be what you came here to be. They didn't appreciate it at all. They kept you hidden from life while they drained you of vital force. Literally, they were harvesting your life force energy while poisoning all of your foods and making sure that your vessel couldn't produce the energy to really get your ascension going. But somehow you did it anyway, and these ones weren't successful in taking it. So it looks like that's what's going on. We got heartbreak over your talent, or they were coming in and being disloyal or betraying people with talent, with love spells. That's their intention. That's what this person is. They didn't appreciate your beauty. They just saw you had talent. They brought in a love spell and now they're on fire. It could be that it backfired because you fought back. Because you recognize the energy. It's like, whoa, you know? And I've been praying for that too. I've been praying that all of these love spells get instant backfire with like, or the response that these love spells receive is like a complete and total disgust and rejection or whatever. I don't know. So somebody's on fire with this love spell, this backfired love spell. They made mistakes. They made mistakes with it. They wish they could right their wrongs. They're on fire. Something's happening. Something's happening. Something's on fire. You're in your chariot. You're moving forward. You have gained a victory. You are reconciled with your proper twin. There's memories. There's an understanding of the memories of what happened here with the devil and how this commitment even happened. It was all this stupid love spell, being ghosted, misuse of power, mind games, callous manipulation. You know, kind of like a destabilization of the mind of somebody who wanted to love them. Well, I don't know. Apparently, it doesn't have to be an intimate union. It can just be a partnership, friendship, business, roommates. Overwhelmed. So you're in your chariot, you're leaving, you are reconciled. There's an understanding of the memories of what has happened in the history. And we've got neighbors, no more. No more neighbors. They cannot be near you. They got to get out of your house. They're overwhelmed and stressed out here because they can't be your neighbor anymore. The devil, so the lens is being looked through is this devil that was codependent on commitment with you through marriage, on harvesting marriages. They were getting married to their person and then they were harvesting them. This devil. Values, because all they wanted was money. They wanted money and wealth and power. They wanted your ascension. They wanted to be in your leadership position, but they didn't have the qualities. They thought by absorbing your energy or harvesting you that they could be seen exactly like you, but that's not true because the substance, it comes from within you and they just don't have that. So they kept having to harvest more and harvest more and harvest more because they're not the source of their own supply. Maybe they don't have the rainbow covenant with God, and that's why they don't have this consistent supply. I don't know. Queen of Wands is here. She is determined to live her life. She is aware and confident. She's discovered her life's purpose. This uninvited guest is receiving a big change in the spiritual gifts that they've been gaining in dreams. And it could be that that's what they did with this Queen of Wands. This all could have happened at the dream state. You may not have even betrayed your twin. I mean, you may have had a dream, literally, that you didn't remember, especially after many life cycles. But the soul carries memory. So all of that stuff that they've done to you in all of this time is seen by God. Reciprocity. So everything that the uninvited guest did with your spiritual gifts that in dreams to other people, and that's the thing, these copycats, right? They would tap into the spiritual gifts. I had one over there. Apparently she was a psycho. She was like lighting people's cars on fire, taking out people's pets, being mean to the children. It was wild. And then one day I showed up at the school where the teachers and the kids were, and she was there, and she kicked me or pushed me or something. It was wild. It's like my dream self knew who she was, It was strange. And the kids were all looking like they were really afraid because this woman was just a freaking psycho, apparently. I don't think she's there anymore. So we got space in the reverse. It says, I need more time to think. So there's no more time to think. They can't get in your space. They're losing sleep. Whoever this water thing is that was attached to your crown, your intellectual properties and such, they're losing sleep. They can't sleep. You are firm, wide awake, clean, and decisive. King of Pentacles is right here. He could be offering some kind of security, some kind of protection to keep your energy clear, to make certain that nobody disturbs you. And somebody's losing sleep about it. They can't get into your dreams. They can't get into your dreams. Whatever they did to you in your dreams is going back on them. 10 of Pentacles, inheritance. We're not celebrating with anybody. There's an empty room. Empty room, complete silence in the home. Yay! All that you had hoped for, what you had wished for is here. Change and transformation for the rose. You're going to get rest and a new beginning. There's been divine intervention. The divine timing for this mirror is done. They're being let go. This queen bee, which is you, is a genius. You have, like for myself, I use terminology that may not resonate for everybody, but I was using myself as my own guinea pig, right? Trial and error. And sometimes I hurt myself, trying to heal myself, but that I learned through trial and error. And, because holistic medicine, the insurance doesn't pay for it. So I had to figure it out. So I bought books. And I tried stuff, and you probably did too. There's one woman out there, she was in a wheelchair. She couldn't walk. Something happened. And she lives in the Ozarks, and she wound up growing herbs and making tinctures and other medicines, and she got herself up and healed. She walks around and she has chickens and all kinds of stuff out there. She healed herself with natural medicine. Trial and error. She did it all on her own. And now she has she has her own little shop of her tinctures and other medicines that she sells. She knows what she's talking about. She was in a wheelchair, unable to really thrive, and then she says, "You know what? This is not acceptable," and she commanded it. And now she offers that same, you know, um, she was very hard on herself, and she's very hard on others. You know, people who don't want to take the initiative and actually go for it. She doesn't really have any mercy for anybody who doesn't really take it seriously, you know, healing. So you're the queen bee and you are a genius. It could be that there's an intelligent animal out there who says, this is an unexpected outcome. They wanted to be you. They wanted to be you, but you are the queen bee. You are. And the mirror is going away, being let go because they've been found guilty. They've been found guilty. You've learned all that it needs to know from all of your many cycles of these birth and death. And the Most High raised you up. The Most High, you're the beloved child of God. He raised you up. Third eye to third eye, you know, and said, you're getting a new beginning, you know, because you never gave up on being with your twin flame. Cycle after cycle after cycle, you probably yearned for each other. And there is an understanding here of what has happened now that the information has been gathered. And you're seen to be irreplaceable. The way you love can't be matched. The truth has been revealed, and you're getting a new chapter, a new beginning. People are talking about it, and they're struggling to get over what they've done. They want forgiveness, but they're unworthy of being in a responsible, loving family for what they have done with their reckless sex and this stealing of destiny. You know, they missed their opportunity. They missed their opportunity with this passion project, this sex magic, and all that other stuff that they were doing to try to defile the actual ascending one. The reflection is feeling the pain from the damage that they have caused. And they are getting detached because they are part of the shadow. So you're detaching from the shadow. They're no longer going to be neighbors. Like, no, we're going to put some distance between us this time. And the way that I've been seeing this is like when you are happy and you're stable and balanced and all of your levels are real good throughout your whole system, you know, and you're happy and you always focus on what's going to bring you joy or, you know, lighten the energetic load of your environment or whatever. And then you got those who are really in the shadows and they're just wanting to be mad all the time. And they, you know, you tell them that you're having a vulnerable moment and they want to come and punch you in the face just to make it worse, you know. You got these two. So the happier you are, the greater the chasm becomes between you and this person over here. So you really, the more you focus on being happy, it's like, woo, I'm going to bring so much joy into my life. And then boom, they're way over there. Well, at the same time, you know, God is saying, okay, we're gonna shift it this way as well. You're ascending. You're gonna get your proper position, and they're gonna go where they properly align, and that's just the way that it is. And it's, you know, they're really trying to interfere with that still, but they cannot interfere or separate you again from your twin, from your match, your proper match. They may want to call and hear your voice. They may be just as excited as you to get on with it. Your soul tie and your soul contract. It could already be in the 45D, whatever D, you know. Now it just has to manifest. And, you know, we're going to have some kind of a... These people have been, these adversaries, they've been talking about transference, you know, and to me, that means like this, they gotta mess with a frequency of somebody. They gotta align the frequencies so that they can do the bump and transfer and then drop, right? So there's some strange stuff happening with the frequencies. Please pay extra attention and don't claim it, especially if you've already done your shadow work. And you know that this isn't something that you're driven by, you know, a lower vibrational thought form or whatever. they got the Bluetooth devices, and they've been talking about this graphene and how, like it'll connect you to Wi-Fi routers or whatever I don't know. I saw some stuff about that. I don't know if it's true or not. I didn't really investigate. I mean, I did a little bit, but I couldn't find a whole lot of information. So I thought maybe it was a hoax, but I don't know. Maybe you know more than I. But it seems to me, there's a lot of heavy metals in the medicines. And these adversaries have been talking about medicines. She needs her medicine. She needs her medicine. So they feel that if a person needs medicine, that whatever's in the medicine is going to allow them to use that as a connector and a bridge to the body, to the vessel, to the mind, to the energy and all that. And I think it's this graphene or whatever. There's a heavy metal in the medicine, and I think it's like a transmitter receiver. It picks up on interfering messaging systems or whatever. There's something going on. There's something going on. A connector and a bridge, and it's like interference with the messaging system, I'm thinking. That's why, the interference with the mind, when you get these negative thought forms and such that just won't stop, man. And I believe it's because they get driven. And that's because I was in the wilderness one day, all day long. And usually when I go out to the woods, 30 minutes in, I'm smiling and I'm happy and all my cares are gone. But that day, all day long, these negative thoughts were just being driven through me so hard. It was really difficult to manage. And that never happens in the woods for me. And then I got home that evening and I'm breathing into it, managing it. And then I hear some masculine say, rebuke. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You've been driving crap through me all day so that you could try to rebuke me? Oh my gosh. So they were trying to drive all this crap into me in order to do some weird prayer to rebuke me. It was weird. Weird manipulation and firsthand testimony, of its obvious presence. You will be traveling soon. You will be traveling soon. So the King of Swords is in the reverse. They've been misusing their power in order to level up and gain promotions. They've been hijacking or piggybacking off of those who actually have earned the ascension. Then they ghost the person or they detach them, or it could be that you're just getting detached because they're not able to trap you. So there could be some secrets here. You will be traveling soon. Haven't told you everything yet. So you may not know everything. And that's one thing that one of my helpers throughout this battle, she said, you'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. So we don't want to get too pushy, and say, well, God, I deserve this and I deserve that and blah, 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 blah. Well, the thing is we got to get in alignment, in order to receive what it is that is intended for us. And if we're not in alignment, if we arrive too soon, we're going to screw stuff up. And that's kind of what's been happening. We got people who haven't done the work and they've been hijacking other people's promotions. And then they kind of screw off because they're not equipped with the purpose that particular energy is meant to fuel, so manifest. So in the challenge position, we got the King of Cups, and he's having his encounter. He's meeting his real person real soon. It's going to be love at first sight. Ooh, meet by chance. It's going to be a meeting by chance. We've got law, lawyer, judge, police. Maybe you're going to meet at the police station. Maybe there's some kind of weird chance encounter. Maybe you got to go pay a ticket, or maybe you got to go to court, or maybe you're just going to go do some research on paperwork or whatever. I don't know. But somebody's losing their freedom, and it could very well be that at the law, maybe you are the law. Maybe the law is there to pick up this fella here who's been hijacking everybody's ascension by playing in the shadow and playing in the light and playing it back and forth and all this other stuff. So they're losing their freedom to do so. The law is here, and they're being held back. So you have told the universe exactly what you want, and you're getting it. They're being held back. This magician, this mental magician, they're being held back. Your prayers have been heard. They're losing their freedom. You're getting an Ace of Wands here. Yep, you're about ready to get a new beginning, a new beautiful beginning. You and all of the animal friends of the earth. Love, children of the Most High. We are one. All of the life here is part of what is creation, God's creation. You know? It's sacred. That's why somebody mentioned, you know, my one of my gal friends who gave me this treat. Actually, her son gave me this treat. She made a bow for my front door, and she gave me a whole turkey wing for it. She set it up real nice. And turkey wings are it's a sacred item, you know, for the indigenous culture, you know, and it's protection and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so it's a sacred. And somebody was like, ew, really? An actual, you know, wing of a dead animal? And I'm like, wow. So I'll just share a little bit of information, you know, try to bring a little education into it, but still, it's just different viewpoints, you know, or should I say just naivety and an abundance of judgment, you know, I guess maybe. Gold digger, gold digger, gold digger. So you got a whole bunch of new opportunities here, you and your animal friends, your pets, the pets of the earth. We got dance. We got dance. Commitment, dance. We've got a gold digger here who wants to use your money. So that's what's going on. So you're getting a new beginning here, new opportunities for your animal friends and the children of the Heavenly Father. He's lifting you up and all of your animal friends, because this dance, those people that were marrying people in order to unalive them to the devil, and then because they've got broken minds, their minds are broken, but you've got sanity and you got this connection with the divine, so you have the antidote to their broken mind. And that's why they needed to trap you, because you were bringing temperance to everything for them. Unfortunately, your services are needed, you know, elsewhere, you know, to actually bring life to the living, rather than manage this broken mind for a gold digger in some marriage that they would just harvest you for. This devil. They come in, they make an oath to protect you, and then they harvest you once they get married, once they get a contract. Yeah, so we got the gold digger, broken minds, marrying the gold digger, this dance. So you are getting a new beginning, because their broken minds were here just marrying you for your money, for your authority, for your position, for your, you know, they wanted to interfere in your messaging. They wanted to silence you and then pretend like they were the one that was supposed to be in your shoes. We got hard work for a Knight of Pentacles, bringing cool down to the mystery of these ones who don't really produce anything, living in the moment, living high on the hog, fighting with you. They had no appreciation for the beauty that you were bringing to their world. It was a game, and they're being let go. They're being let go. They didn't care about you, so they're being let go. They got a 3 of Swords there. There's a divorce. They're in sorrow and heartbreak. Because you're able to manage your frequency when it comes to love spells, when it comes to mental magic, when it comes to the energies of your body and how it affects your emotional body and your mental body. You manage yourself well. They're in heartbreak. You transmute it. You alchemize it. It doesn't affect you. So now they're backfired. All these love spells are backfiring, and the fire of your beautiful love has got them all. They're all burning up, burning up. Isn't that Elvis song? Burning love. Couple burning love. Anyway, they made mistakes and they wish they could right their wrongs. You let them go. Honeymoon. They made mistakes. They made mistakes. They wish they could right their wrongs. You've got a new beginning. You've got a new beginning right here. They're being let go because you were able to alchemize the frequencies that they kept pumping into the waters of your body. All this love spell, all this mental manipulation, all this stuff that was meant to drive you into a certain decision or circumstance or event. You got a honeymoon coming up because they made mistakes. There's love spells backfired. Now they're dealing with a hunk of burning love. You're in your chariot. You got a victory here. There is an understanding and repair. You are reconciled with your true flame. And there is an understanding of the history of this, and these devils will not be in your neighborhood at all. They will be kept clear the heck away from you. Somebody's overwhelmed and stressed out about this. This masculine, he's overwhelmed and stressed out. He wants to stay. This gold digger wants to stay, but he's told you're unavailable. They got to move on. They got to move on. They got to get out of Dodge. They cannot stay in the community in which you dwell. Not after this fiasco. You're looking through the lens. This devil was pledging an oath. They were pledging an oath. But they were mirroring their harvest. Because all they wanted was money. It was a betrayal. It was a betrayal. And not only that, it wasn't a clear decision because you've got magic, you've got frequency, love spell, crap in here. Double manifestation, love spells, and then you've got this kind of crap. Yep. They didn't want you to be independent. Or maybe they wanted you to be independent. Anyway, they can't travel over to the shadow and play the light against each other anymore. The law has stepped in. They broke so many universal laws. They have no roots. They have no fruit. Those trees don't really have anything to stand on. There's no roots. They're not rooted in anything. It's your light that is casting the illusion that they are rooted because they stuck you in a deep, deep hole in hell and then they attached themselves to you. You're the root. And you're the branches. And they're the lying gold digger. Lying gold digger. Lying gold digger. Married for a harvest. Not for love. They made an oath and they betrayed it right a freaking way, man. I mean, it wasn't sincere in the first place. It was a premeditated hunt and harvest and entrapment. Fortunately, the Most High God, I don't know what kind of magical, because you got this powerful energy, right? Look at you. This is you. You got this magnificent energy, and they had used that once they got you trapped or got connection with your energy, permission to access it and play in it, then they sort of wrapped you up and then used your energy to do it, to curse you and to curse and hurt everybody you loved. For centuries, this has been going on. There's a lot of families out there. Generational curses, yeah. All they got to do is get a relationship, get a marriage contract, and then boom, they can destroy that family line. They can consume it for all of the wealth that it came with. No, this is just what I'm picking up. Now, people are asking me to explain how that happens. Okay, I don't know. I just know this is the message. So, Queen of Wands is independent of this uninvited guest who is tapping into the spiritual gifts in the dream state. We've got reciprocity. Whatever they did, we've got reciprocity. We've got commitment, reciprocation, commitment, uninvited guests. So they were tapping into the dream state of people, looking at their future, who they were going to encounter, and they could have like shapeshifted into the face in order to get that. It could be that whatever uninvited guest, moment of decision. You know, because this is like that, what is that guy's name? What's that guy's name? On Elm Street, whatever his name is. What's his face? Yeah, so like, uninvited guests, spiritual gifts, uninvited guests, surprise, surprise, uninvited guest. This could be a surprise. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, right? Queen of Wands might find, she might run into somebody. There's reconciliation, uninvited guests, spiritual gifts. We've got dreams, reciprocity, and commitment. So this is like an equal give and take and a commitment. This is like, this could be the protector. This could be somebody who's here protecting you in your dreams. Somebody who has spiritual gifts. Somebody that you haven't met in the 3D yet. Take it as it resonates. King of Pentacles. Protective. Could be offering security for you. You're standing here wide awake, clean-minded, clear-minded, decisive, firm in your standing. Perhaps he is as well. But somebody here is losing sleep over this. It's like you've got security. Your dreams are protected. There's an abundance of security here. These ones were talking about Judas, like they were trying to get somebody to betray you. They're not able to find anybody to do that. It's like everybody, I heard everybody was being replaced in this community. So because there was a betrayer, somebody had said that they were going to let you get established and that they were going to flip and copycat you. So everybody's getting, apparently everybody's getting replaced. They're losing sleep. They're replaying events, thinking about you, what they did to you. This is Leviathan's spirit and the water that had been consuming your mind. We've got space in the reverse. They cannot enter your space. There's no time to think about it. There's no more time to think about it. Fire sign, fire sign. You could be, they could be. So there's no, they cannot get into your space. They cannot get into the mental space. They're losing sleep because they cannot get into the mental space. See his hand on her head right there? He can't get into her mental space of a fire sign. He's losing sleep. He can't tap into her intellectual property anymore. He can't claim her intellectual property. He can't tap in to this person that she is being reconciled with. Gonna have an encounter. Somebody may have an encounter with the law. I don't think this King of Cups is messing around. 10 of Pentacles, and there's no celebration. This is an empty room. There's going to be complete silence in the home. That which you had hoped for, a wish come true. There's a change in this circumstance, a transformation, and a new beginning for the rose. This is divine intervention. She's the queen bee, a genius. We have an intelligent animal here. Unexpected outcome. She's the mirror, the copycat. And in this divine timing, they're being let go. Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde. So everything that they've done to you is going back to them. Or they got to go back to where they came from. Take it as it resonates. You're traveling soon. They're not able to trap you. Divorce. Luck is on your side. There's a separation here. They're being let go. So they're having challenges. They're having challenges. We've got caution here. No, now is not the right time. Give it some time. We got a narcissist here that's too full of themselves, out there banging everything in the whole entire universe or whatever, getting people pregnant. They might be making confessions of it, what they've been doing, who they've been doing, perhaps with the animals. They'll be back. Animal experimentation. They did genetic experiments, apparently, back in the 1930s or something, and really messed themselves up. Caused a problem. And now we've got beings that are far greater than us here that are going to set it right, make it right. So that's what's happening. A couple days ago, I did a read. And it was that thing, in the Bible, how it says, no man or will know the time or day, there's going to be this transference. And I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like a beam me up Scotty, or if it's just going to be like a sort of a timeline, bloop, and you're there, I don't know. So anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. It's a general reading. It's planetary general reading for, the collective. Twin flames apparently is what this read is about. Those twin flames that have been separated and then sort of bound away from each other, but they're back together now, and the law is involved. There's nothing that is said, I believe, in the political realm that is innocent or by chance. It's all code. Somebody was just talking about the pets. So I hope that you all have a beautiful evening. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the night. Have a great one, you guys.